everyone, this is Gail from Gail Julie Makes, and I'm here with another video for Fairy Stamper. I hope you're all well and I hope you're managing to get crafting time in. So today I've got a few supplies out. I wanted to use the new stamp by Fairy Hugs, Doria, the mermaid. She's a very pretty, cute little mermaid, and I've got the Pebble Beach stencil as well to use. Now obviously this is a Pebble stencil but looks just as good for bubbles, so I'm going with that. And I've got my 6-inch round gel plate out by Gel Press, and I've got, you know, various supplies. So there's a close-up of Doria. She's got some nice detailing on her there as well, and there's that beautiful stencil I was just talking about, so we're going to be using that. I've got Sunken Ship there. I actually just end up using the anchor on that one. So I'm starting out by putting some broken china distress ink on my 6-inch round plate and just spraying that in just to give us a basic background. And next step then is to get the bubble stencil, well, the Pebble stencil, which is going to be bubbles for me. So I'm going to lay that on my plate, and I just want to show you, I like the fact that the circles are a little bit of an irregular sort of circle, so it just makes it a bit more believable that they are pebbles, and looks just as effective for bubbles. So I wanted to use alcohol inks today, and I don't know if not everybody knows this, but basically Sharpies are alcohol ink. So you can use them in the same way you would, you know, your Ranger alcohol inks or your Copic markers. So I'm using 3 different neon colours here. I've got green, yellow and blue, and I wanted to experiment a bit with neon because, you know, it's a great medium with acrylics because it has a translucentness about it. So this is Doria then. I'm just inking her up with a twilight colour in Versafine Clair. And I wanted to just try and keep this fairly simple, but I always end up adding lots extra, so they don't look simple at the end. But you know, once you've got your technique down, I will show you 3 different ones, so that's why I'm doing this a bit speeded up, because I didn't want the video to be too long. So when you're stamping onto your gel press or gel plate with your Versafine Clair, sometimes you'll get like almost like a sort of like double print, like a ghost print. So that's what I'm doing with that cotton bud. I'm just going around the edges, just making sure I haven't got that. So here I go with my second one. So I'm just pressing it gently. If you press it too hard, it will sort of smudge and give you that ghost effect. But you know, it comes with practice. You'll know because the gel plate is a soft surface rather than a hard surface. This is why it happens. So it just takes a little bit of practice, that's all. So I'm going in with more of those mermaids with a twilight ink, and again just correcting any bits I'm not happy with. Okay. So next step, you could add a sentiment in the middle, or you know, do a bit more stamping. I decided to go in with some more alcohol ink over the top. I didn't want to really obscure those bubbles too much, but you know, it's a tricky balance. So basically I've put some alcohol ink down. I've used the colours Citrus, Pool and Patina, and then I've got some alcohol lift ink. Now I did use blending solution on my alcohol ink just to get it to move around a bit more, and then I'm adding alcohol lift ink to my blender just to sort of, you know, take a bit of it off or move it around a little bit more. This gives you quite a nice sort of mottled look with the colour. So I'm just moving that around a little bit, and this is a good way as well if you know, if you're a bit if you're always in a bit of a rush like I am, I don't like waiting for things, it can help, you know, the colour to dry a little bit quicker because it's thinning it out a little bit more. So now I'm just going in with a bit of Rust alcohol ink by Tim Holtz, and again I've used some of that well, actually that was blending solution I used on the pad to move it around then. So I kind of did, you know, a bit of blending solution, a bit of alcohol lift ink. And now what I'm going to do is, so I've let it dry and I'm using some white acrylic on top to pull it. Because I'd spent quite a lot of time doing this one, it was drying at various stages, so I felt it was best to use the acrylic on top to pull it. Now I'm doing a very fine layer, so I've put some on, but as you can see I'm now taking some off, so I'm using my braying off sheet to take some off. And it's taken on a little bit of extra colour because I don't think I left it to dry quite long enough, but it doesn't, I quite like the end result. It's quite abstract, but you'll see at the very end of the video I do kind of go back in and work on top of it. So getting a very thin layer, so I'm starting to see now through the actual acrylic the stamping. So I know I'm about right, I'm at the right consistency to sort of pull this one. Now you could have a piece of card under your gel plate to line this piece of card up accurately. I just wanted to get straight in there and lift it, so I didn't on this occasion, but normally I would. So I'm giving it a bit of a rub, and then I will as well give it a brayer, just to make sure I'm lifting, you know, lifting everything off that plate. Okay, so give it a pull, see what the results are. Now, you can't see the mermaids that well, but I'm really liking how the bubbles have shown through with that Sharpie. So, and I really like the overall background there. So I think that's useful. We can go back in and work with that. And it's completely cleared the plate, which is great. So it means I can work on my next one and not have to worry about cleaning it. So this time I decide to go back in and I'm just cleaning my stamp there because I think I can't remember if I go for a different colour. There again, it's my, so there I'm just showing you my favourite bits on there of the bubbles with the Sharpie. So this time I decided to go in with pretty much the same method, but I'm using the alcohol ink through the stencil this time rather than the Sharpies, just to see what sort of effect we get with this one. I really do like this stencil, the little bubbles especially, and I kind of like the effect I was getting here where I just actually had sort of almost some sharp edges from the stencil as well, so just give you quite an unusual sort of watery effect. So I'm going back in, again this is patina Pool and Citrus that I'm using, so sort of greeny blues. And I think I use Monarch this time in the Versafine Clair for the mermaid, for Doria. Okay. So didn't put any background down this time. So what I decided to do was go in with, I've got some Tim Holtz foam stamps here. And I'm just going in with my Versafine Clair and just using those stamps to get, you know, a bit more of a sort of unusual pattern in the background. So they almost look like little anemones. So I thought sea anemones would be great. So I'm using various colours. I think I use Shady Lane and Verdant to add those to the plate. And just about make them out there. And then I decided to go in with a bit of the rust colour again. Now you can actually, so I'm using blending solution there to move it around a little bit. You can use a straw to move it around, or an air blower by Tim Holtz, whatever you fancy really. And I didn't capture the pull, annoyingly. It didn't capture me doing the pull. But the idea with this one was that I didn't want to lift it with acrylic. So I did it quite quickly so it wouldn't dry too much. And then I've lifted it just straight. I haven't used any acrylic to pull it. So that's just literally card on top. And then I'm going in with a Posca pen, a purple Posca pen, just to add a bit more detail to those mermaids because they are quite blended into the background. So I just wanted to use the purple Posca pen as a bit of an outline, just so they stand out a little bit more basically. And I like the effect of this one. I think it works really well. Like I say, I didn't cover the whole of the background, so you've got some white areas, which I think, even though I wasn't sure when I was just about to pull it, I think the white areas do actually add a little something different to the piece. So, you know, it looks quite different from the other two. So yeah, I do like this one. That was my original favourite. And now what I've decided to do is I'm going to go in and just purely do the background, pull the background, and then I'm going to stamp over the top of it. So I'm going in with my alcohol inks again, and I'm quite liking those sort of harsh lines I've got in there, because it's, you know, something a bit unusual for like a sort of seascape. So I do go in and move some of it around though, as I add more colour. So yeah, so I'm adding rust again. And then I'm just moving it around. I've used a bit of my my lift ink again. And this time I decided to go for eggplant as well in the alcohol ink. And just add that. And then I just press through. Again, I put a bit of alcohol lift ink on there. And I'm pressing through the stencil just to try and get some more of those bubbles on there. And then I'm just using various things like more of those foam stamps just to get a bit of detail in. And the actual fairy hug stamps, just to try and get a bit more detail in each background. Okay, so I'm lifting it again. This time I'm not using any acrylic. It's just purely lifting the ink that's on there and braying it out. I'll show you that one in a second. It's kind of disappeared. I'll show you that result in a second. But I do, at this point, decide to go back and do some extra work on this one. I think because I'm going to stamp on the top of the other one. Yeah, I don't know how. I think I must have had a glitch. Sorry, guys. So I'll show you that one at the end. But basically, I just used Twilight and stamped over the top. I think. Yeah. Oh no, I used Nocturne. Sorry, I used Nocturne, and then I've got anchors that I used around the edge. But you'll see that at the end. So like I just did with the last one that I'll show you at the end, I'm basically just going over the top of my background. So I'm inking up in Twilight, because I feel that would be a colour that will match it well. And then I'm just going to stamp over the top. So, you know, if you ever create a background, or you created something on your gel plate and it didn't quite work, you can still go in and reuse it as a background and stamp over the top, which I think this one proves really well. So, you know, mistakes can be sorted. Or the thing with the gel plate is you never really know what you're going to get. And that's one of the things I love about it. It's just like happy experimenting. So that's great. So all of these stamps that I've used, I will link in the description below, by the way. So it will take you to fairystamper.com to go straight to the stamps, basically, and have a look at them. Doria is such a pretty stamp. She's one of the newest ones, and, you know, really nice addition to your collection if you haven't got her already. There are other mermaid stamps as well in the collection. So I wanted to go in and just add a little bit more detail, because I felt, even though I love this, I feel like it needs a bit of something else. So what I decided to do is get that bubble stencil again, or pebble stencil, and I go in with some Versafine Clair. I think I was originally going to stamp, but then I changed my mind. Yeah, so I go in with some Versafine Clair, and I use like a little sort of finger blender, so one of those ones that you know you can stick on the end of your finger. And I use the colour Shady Lane by Versafine Clair first of all, and I also use Verdant as well. So I'm just pressing through the ink through the stencil to get the sort of bubble effect, and we get that lovely effect there. So, you know, a fair bit of layering on this one, but I think it's turned out really well. It's actually probably now my favourite out of all of them. I hope you don't mind this being a bit faster, guys. It's just that, you know, like I said, I didn't want it to be sort of half an hour long. So, but you get the general gist. And that's those two. And then I've got my third one. So that was that Nocturne stamping that I said, and the anchors are in each corner. So, you know, I think they've all turned out really nicely. All quite similar techniques, but quite different. And it'd be interesting to see which is your favourite. I think, like I said, that one at the end that I've just done, I think is probably my favourite. Using that original like abstract background and then coming back in with it and, you know, turning it into something that is less abstract. But I do love doing abstract backgrounds. So there we go, that's that one a bit clearer with the nocturne stamping of Doria and the nocturne stamping of the anchors around each corner. And obviously I've got something on the other side of that card, I can just trim that so it's, you know, it's perfectly fine. That's just a card that I was just wanting to reuse. So what I'll do is I'll show them all side by side at the end. So it'd be great to know which is your favourite if you want to drop me a comment. Top left there then is a link to take you through to the channel, and if you hit the bell and all notifications, it will subscribe you and let you know whenever we've got a new video, which is about 3 times a week. Bottom left there is another video that we think you'll be interested in. If you could give us a like, that'd be awesome, because that spreads us across YouTube a little bit more. And do go and follow us on Fairy Stamper Hugs, which is our Facebook community. We're very friendly. We like to, you know, put up inspiration on there, and we comment on each other's work. It's just a great place to go. So I hope you get some crafting time soon. I'll see you in the next one. And here's those 3 pictures side by side. Let me know which is your favourite. Comment below. Take care. Bye for now.